Hi, a very good evening, all of you. Welcome to our final live session of this week, session number 14. So in this session also we'll have a context-based discussion, but it's going to be a different topic altogether. So I hope you guys are all ready. And also, before we start, as you know, the objectives of the sessions which we are conducting, first and foremost being the fact that if learning is not fun, then what's the point in doing it? Learning is fun and will be fun if we're doing it in the right way, with right orientation. And second, whenever you're attending any of the sessions, make sure that you're maintaining customized notes and consider each and every aspect very important. What if the question which we discuss comes on the day of exam? It's definitely going to make a huge impact and huge difference. Don't you think so? So keep these objectives in mind. And before we go ahead, also, I've been posting homework questions for your benefit in order to encourage active participation and engagement. So make sure that you're considering them serious and just put the effort to try finding out the right answers and feel free to get back through mail. We'll definitely interact and provide you appropriate key and guidance accordingly, right? So I hope it's clear. Without much delay, let's go ahead with today's final discussion of the week, right? Yeah, and if you have any issues with streaming, do let me know. So before we start, we have the following courses going on in our academy: crash course towards NEET MDS 2022 and Mission 12 batch 1-year course approximately towards NEET MDS 2023. You can find all details in our website, ptbdacademy.com. And before we start, we shall start with the following quote: fear, but why? So rather than giving you some inputs regarding this particular quote, I have actually put down my feelings in the form of a brief passage. I'm going to read that out for you. Please hear me out. Fear, but why? Most of the modern day stresses can be attributed to fear of failure. What is failure? For that matter, what is success? Who is defining them? You, your parents, your friends, or society? Why are we letting ourselves down by succumbing to these arbitrary fears? Is fear a physical quantity, or is it a psychological entity? In this one life of ours, can't we lead a life filled with love, passion, prosperity, and satisfaction? Who is going to grant us the same? Some genie residing in mountains, or the genie within you? So with these introductory comments, let's go ahead with our discussion. But before that, most of us have this idea or habit of incorporating fear in no matter what we do, no matter what the circumstances we face. Fear actually leads to failure. Fear of failure eventually leads to failure. That's the irony of fear. So, are you going to let yourself down with fear of failure, or are you going to enjoy the process of your journey, regardless of the result? So the choice is completely yours. So this is the context we have for today. Let's go through it. A 23-year-old male student complains of unexpected and repeated episodes of intense fear with chest pain, heart palpitations, shortness of breath, dizziness, and abdominal distress. On inquiry, he reveals that he is appearing for NEET MDS and INI-CET exams, which are scheduled in coming months. History reveals that he has been sleeping for less than 3 hours per day and is allotting more than 18 hours towards preparation for the past few weeks. So this is the context or case for today. And you can see so many keywords which are highlighted, and I need not go into the details of these keywords because some of you might already be experiencing the same. So the age of the patient, the gender also plays an important role. You can look into the chief complaints: shortness of breath, dizziness, abdominal distress, chest pain, heart palpitations, unexpected and repeated episodes of intense fear. And upon inquiry, it's revealed that he's appearing for competitive exams, NEET MDS and INI-CET. And history reveals that he has been sleeping less and studying more for the past few weeks. So this is the context, and let's look into the questions. Before that, this is a clinical presentation of this patient experiencing these symptoms, right? So observe the illustration very carefully so that you can answer the questions as accurately as possible. So observe the eyes, observe the oral cavity, observe the tongue, observe the new hairstyle this aspirant has incorporated in the process of these experiences. So first question, what is the most probable diagnosis? Option A, generalized anxiety disorder. Option B, post-traumatic stress disorder. Option C, social anxiety disorder. Option D, panic disorder. I'm sorry, it's not E, it's D. Okay, whatever it is, D or E. You cannot say angina or arrhythmia. No, that would be too harsh. Please choose among the given options, Ratan. So what is the most probable diagnosis? So Sidra is saying that you guys are already facing, so you must give me the accurate diagnosis. Generalized anxiety disorder, post-traumatic stress disorder, social anxiety disorder, panic disorder. Don't rule them out, assuming that this is a general discussion. In fact, this is in your subject as well. You can come across these terms in general medicine, right? So don't rule out this question or this session. Consider this very, very important. So we have different types of anxiety disorders. So I think I see some of you are choosing option B. How can it be post-traumatic stress disorder? Maybe in some of your context, it can be true, but this particular aspirant, even though I haven't mentioned, hasn't given any competitive exam prior. In the sense, he hasn't given NEET MDS prior. He has completed his BDS, entered into internship, and is appearing for NEET MDS and INI-CET for the first time. I assume that's the case here, because if nothing is mentioned about past history in relation to number of attempts he has given, I assume that he is taking up the exam for the first time. So based on that, I reckon you can rule out post-traumatic stress disorder, or it could be option B as well. What about the entrance exam which he had faced after +2, right? So let's look into that. But before that, there are 5 major types of anxiety disorder. The first one, generalized anxiety disorder, which is an anxiety disorder characterized by chronic anxiety, exaggerated worry and tension, even when there is little or nothing to provoke it. Next one is obsessive compulsion or compulsive disorder, OCD. I'm sure you know about this. So there is obsession as well as compulsion features. So it's an anxiety disorder characterized by recurrent unwanted thoughts, that is obsessions, and or repetitive behaviors, that is compulsions. Repetitive behaviors such as hand washing, counting, checking, cleaning, etc. are often performed with the hope of preventing obsessive thoughts or making them go away. Performing these so-called rituals, however, provides only temporary relief, and not performing them markedly increases anxiety. The character of Monica in Friends, if you remember, she definitely has this OCD. And what about social anxiety disorder? So social anxiety disorder or social phobia is an anxiety disorder characterized by overwhelming anxiety and excessive self-consciousness in everyday social situations. Social phobia can be limited to only one type of situation, such as a fear of speaking in formal or informal situations, or eating or drinking in front of others. I used to have it previously. Or it is in its most severe form, may be so broad that a person experiences symptoms almost any time they are around other people. Like Sheldon, who has this social phobia in front of large gatherings. What about post-traumatic stress disorder? It's an anxiety disorder that can develop after exposure to a terrifying event or ordeal in which grave physical harm occurred or was threatened. We're talking about physical harm in case of PTSD. Where do you come across physical harm in your entrance exams? Traumatic events that may trigger PTSD include violent personal assaults, natural or human-caused disasters, accidents, or military combat. And what about panic disorder? Panic disorder is an anxiety disorder and is characterized by unexpected and repeated episodes of intense fear, accompanied by physical symptoms that may include chest pain, breathlessness, heart palpitations, dizziness, and abdominal distress. So, as some of you have already chosen, the final option, in this particular case, option D or option E, panic disorder, is the right answer. So in the process, you have gone through all these definitions. So which one do you think are you experiencing currently? None of the above would be the best answer I would love to hear, but which one do you think are you experiencing right now? Okay, right, so award yourself +4. Now, let's move on to the next question. Reason for panic disorder. So what do you think is the reason for panic disorder in this particular case? Fear of failure, hatred towards preparation, lack of confidence, all of the above. So which one do you think is the reason for panic disorder? First of all, by definition or based on standardized meaning, panic disorder is an anxiety disorder characterized by unexpected and repeated episodes of intense fear accompanied by certain physical symptoms like chest pain, heart palpitation, shortness of breath, dizziness, and abdominal distress. So why do you see these unexpected repeated episodes of intense fear? If you remember the quote, which we highlighted initially, is it fear of failure? Or is it because of hatred towards preparation? Or is it because lack of confidence? Or do you think it could be a combination of all these factors and some other additional features or factors which you might be personally knowing? So which one do you think is more appropriate answer? Fear of failure obviously can lead to panic disorder. I think this is one of the most common causes or reasons for panic disorder. The reason why we fear is because we are picturizing the end result as failures. So that obviously leads to panic attacks. Hatred towards preparation. Once you hate what you're doing, then how can you expect yourself to be happy and exuberant? So it could be a contributing factor. Lack of confidence also could be a contributing factor, and as majority of you have rightly chosen, option D is the right answer. Right. Now, award yourself +4. Well done. So if you have to choose one, obviously it has to be fear of failure, which is obviously the most common one. Very good. Well done. Now let's move on to the third question. Look into the quote in italics on top of the screen. If you can do something about a situation, why worry? And if you can't do something about a situation, why worry? As quoted, as mentioned by Dalai Lama in one of his speeches. So if you can do something about a situation, just do it. Why worry? And if you can't do something about a situation, you just can't do anything about it, then why worry? So the essence is, why worry? So based on this quote, which are the situations mentioned below do you think you can do something about, or which do you think are in your hands? Option A, luck factor. Option B, complexity of question paper. Option C, number of aspirants taking up the entrance. Option D, your ability to give your best irrespective of the above mentioned factors. Do you think luck factor is in your hands? Do you think if you pray well, you'll have more luck? Do you really think that luck factor is in your hands? What about complexity of question paper? Do you think it's in your hands? Again, if you pray well, right? So if you want an easy question paper, do you think you'll get easy question paper? And what if you get easy question paper? The question paper, what if it is easy for everyone? Don't you think it's going to be very tough in terms of the competition that you'll be facing that year? Or do you think option C is in your hands? Number of aspirants taking up the entrance. You want less number of aspirants taking up the entrance because large numbers will give you these panic attacks. In fact, I've come across one of the comments on our YouTube channel where the aspirant was worried that since last year's counseling was delayed, Most of the aspirants didn't join last year. So they will be appearing for this year's entrance along with the current year's aspirants. So the total number might shoot up. In what way is the number of aspirants going to affect your preparation in terms of things which are there in your hand? I mean, can you really control it? Or do you want to play a strategy like Chatur in Three Idiots, distracting others, deviating others? Would that be a best strategy? Or is it option D? Which one do you think is quite obvious? So as majority of you have rightly chosen, what's there in your hand, you can take care of it and you'll have nothing to worry about. Easy said than done? Of course, yes. And of course, it's easy to do as well. Your ability to give your best irrespective of the above mentioned factors. It doesn't matter whether luck is there with you or not. Anyways, as they say, luck favors the brave. If you're working hard, working consistent, if you believe in yourself, if not you, then who else the luck factor is going to favor? As I said, the entire universe is going to conspire in your favor to get things done in your in line with your thinking, in line with your thought processes. So complexity of question paper, who cares? Just, or I would usually suggest that pray in such a way that you get a kind of question paper which you should be able to answer it very efficiently, and pray for a difficult or challenging question paper. Pray for a challenging question paper and you should be able to do extremely well in that challenging question paper. If you really hope for such an instance, then obviously you'll be in a top merit position without any doubt. If you pray for an easy question paper, as I said, everyone is going to answer it more or less right. Those who make silly mistakes would go back again. The competition is going to be crazy. So pray for a challenging question paper and pray that you have the entire ability to answer that challenging question paper as accurately as possible. Number of aspirants, who cares? Why do you care? Yes, it's a percentile basis. So what? Do you think you can control the number? So as majority of you have rightly chosen, have wisely chosen, your ability to give your best irrespective of above mentioned factors is completely in your hands. And thus you have nothing to worry about. And rest of the options A, B, C are not in your hands. And hence there is nothing to worry about. Please keep that in mind. Now let's move on to the penultimate question. You've been doing extremely well. Let's see how many of you are going to get it right. Antidote to panic disorder. So in this particular context, the student, the male student, where there is societal expectation that he has to be a breadwinner, settle, so there is a lot of stress. He even will not get married, unfortunately, if he doesn't, settle. So what is the antidote to panic disorder for this male aspirant? Option A, pray for an easy question paper. Option B, pray for less competition. Option C seems to be, again, a very smart option, which some of you have been asking through YouTube comments as well as through mails. Please postpone exam. You should know, as a matter of fact, the exam has already been postponed from December 19, 2021 to March 6, 2022. And even now, in spite of this postponement, there are some aspirants who are still expecting exam to be postponed. So would you choose option C as an antidote to panic disorder? Because if you pray for postponement, obviously you'll get more time not to prepare, but more time maybe to panic more. Who knows? Or is it option D? Harshit, Shika, Shubhangi, Madhuri, Nishita, Kishore, Ignatius, you're all choosing option D, which is very impressive. And let me give you some inputs regarding option D. And as majority of you have rightly chosen option D is right answer. So we usually say in preparation mantra, keep these three factors in mind: hard work, consistency, and self-belief. So what is this self-belief? What do I mean by it? It doesn't matter what I meant by it, but let's see what famous psychiatrist Bandura, you might have heard of his name in Pedo, talks about self-belief. Self-belief or self-efficacy, Bandura in 1995, is a person's belief in their ability to complete tasks and to achieve their goals. It's a very simple definition. Self-belief or self-efficacy is a person's belief in their ability to complete tasks and to achieve their goals. And according to psychology, Judging yourself to be capable of success increases your chances of actual success, whereas judging yourself as not capable of success reduces the chances of your success. As we keep on reminding, the kind of inputs which you feed to your subconscious mind, as proven scientifically, will have a greater effect on the outputs. If you keep feeding yourself that you can do it, you have the potential, you will emerge successful, there is a greater chance that you will emerge successful, because that eventually will direct your thoughts and actions. But if you keep telling yourself that you cannot do it, competition is tough, the question paper might be complex, there are so many aspirants giving the exam, and if you keep feeding yourself with all this nonsense negativity, obviously your chances to succeed also will decrease accordingly. It's a proven fact. The inputs which you feed to your subconscious mind are very, very important, so thus take care of the same. So option B is the right answer. Very good. Now let's move on to the final question. Let's see how many of you are going to get it right and score 20 upon 20 in this final session of ours. Which of the following tasks should be performed on daily basis during preparation phase to overcome negativity? Please go through the question carefully. I'm talking about daily rituals during preparation phase, which is considered to be the most important phase in one's professional life or even personal life for that matter in Indian scenario. Option A is studying for maximum duration, if possible 24 hours a day. Option B, sleeping for minimum duration to buy more time for preparation. Option C, eating fast food to save time strategically and to speed up your preparation. Fast food, you can finish it off in a couple of minutes and then you can speed up your preparation because you have extra load of glucose. Or option D, maintaining a disciplined lifestyle with focus on food, sleep, preparation cycle. This seems nonsense. Option D, why should we bother about disciplined lifestyle when we are dealing with preparation phase, which is the most important phase in one's personal and professional life? Everything has to be ignored. Option A, it makes more sense to me. Even option B makes even more sense. Option C, it seems fantastic and also my favorite. Fast food is my favorite personally. So I would choose A, B, and C. What about you? Which option are you choosing? Seriously? Option D? What kind of a student are you? What kind of a student are you? Who on earth would choose option D when you have option C right in front of you on screens? What kind of a person are you? It means it's a clear-cut indication that you're not seriously preparing for the entrance. Those who seriously prepare for the entrance, right? They study 24/7, they sleep minimal or nil, and they keep eating fast food because that's the fastest way to score success. So I would choose A, B, and C. I don't know why you're choosing option D. Anyways, let's go by the majority. Option D is right answer. Well done. So, yes, A is best. Study 24 hours a day. Stop even breathing. Even if you're breathing, you're wasting your time. Even if you're answering nature's call, you're wasting your time. Even if you're talking to your loved ones, why waste your time? That's all waste of time. Study 24/7, that's the best strategy to crack entrance. And only a fool would say that. So I am no fool. So let me clarify. And as you might have realized by now, I'm just kidding. It's not about studying for maximum duration. It's not about sleeping for minimum time and sacrificing that sleep quota towards preparation. Another foolish approach. Eating fast food, it's like poking with your own eyes. First of all, number of hours you study. See, each one of you have your own responsibilities. If you study for 5 hours, if you study for 6 hours, what difference does it make if you're not giving the quality? So it doesn't matter how many hours you study, how many hours you allot towards preparation, but are you giving your best? That's what ultimately matters. 20 hours, 24 hours, one would turn insane if he or she is trying to apply this strategy. It's not about maximum number of hours. It's about maximum utility, maximum efficiency. Even if it means 5 to 6 hours a day or 3 to 4 hours a day, it doesn't matter. Numbers don't count. as long as you're focusing on quality. And if you can focus on quantity as well as quality, consider that as an added bonus. Sleeping for minimum duration, sacrificing sleep for sake of other things like preparation. I mean, if you can't rest, then how can you recharge? And how can you give your best in the rest of the time? So again, that's another myth or misconception that assuming that before the exam, we should allot more time to study and less time to sleep. That would be the foolish strategy to implement. And fast food, if you eat fast food, obviously more calories, less nutritional value. It makes no sense to your body. On the contrary, try having green tea or foods rich in antioxidants, and try intermittent fasting. I would even suggest intermittent fasting because low glucose, you're eliminating all these radicals, less of inflammation, so you'll be more active. Just imagine you had heavy quantity of biryani. And how do you feel? Would you feel energetic? Would you feel excited, enthusiastic? We feel like sleeping. Just eat minimal quantity, fresh vegetables and fruits. Or if you want to eat biryani, try to eat that in moderation. Ikigai principle, 80% stomach full. If you remember that, which we discussed prior, that would also work. Fast food, I would definitely suggest you to avoid the same. Take care of your food, take care of your diet. It takes care of your entire day without any doubt. So maintaining a disciplined lifestyle with a focus on food, sleep, preparation, cycle. These are the guys, irrespective of the ranks or marks, at the end of the day, are going to be successful in their life. Mark my words. Well done. Fantastic. So how many of you, you want to use ketone bodies as brain can use ketone bodies, even if you are in fasting? Well done, Sedra. So I'm glad that you're applying these principles in this particular context. Now, do post your scores. How much did you score out of 20? 20 upon 20, I'm sure 100% of you might have scored the same, or am I wrong? Please let me know. So what's your maximum score today? Homework questions, you have the following homework questions. Consider them very, very important and feel free to get back through mail with your answers. First question, what's the most fascinating thing you have observed in your life so far? It can be general, it can be academic, it can be non-academic, it doesn't matter, but upon observing that particular incident, activity, or a thing, you had that sense of fascination, awestruck. So what is the most fascinating thing you have observed in your life so far? Because you still are young, 20 to 23 years. This context-based question is based on your age. So you still have a lot to experience, many fascinating things to experience, to travel, through relations, etc. But so far, what's the most fascinating thing you have observed? Second question, how would you like to see yourself in the next 1, 3, 5, and 10 years? We cannot predict future accurately, but how would you like to see yourself? Just close your eyes, visualize, and I'm sure this will give you a sense of excitement. So try answering this question. Finally, who is your role model and why? If I'm like this today, I had several role models. I even have several role models. Dr. Jayaprakash Narayan, my professors, Dr. Sunil, Dr. Suresh sir, and Dr. Gopalan sir. So I have some role models who inspired me tremendously in what I have been doing today. Role models definitely help us stay on track, and they help us realize our potential, frankly speaking. So who is your role model and why? Why is very important, because that will keep you thinking as to why that particular person, he or she, is your role model. So do answer these questions and feel free to get back through mail. Of course, I don't have a right key, but I would love to review your answers. I hope it's clear. So I hope you've enjoyed today's session. And before I conclude, I would like to recite the words, the phrase which I have written for you all. Fear, but why? Most of the modern day stresses can be attributed to fear of failure. What is failure? For that matter, what is success? Who is defining them? You, your parents, your friends, or society? Why are we letting ourselves down by succumbing to these arbitrary fears? We can have so many fears. Is fear a physical quantity? something that can be found elsewhere, or is it a psychological entity? In this one life of ours, can't we lead a life filled with love, passion, prosperity, and satisfaction? Who is going to grant us all of these factors? Is it some genie residing in mountains, or is it the genie inside you? So I hope you enjoyed today's session. So wanted to do it in a different format, but without deviating from the case-based discussion format. And your feedback is always welcome. And you have any queries, you need any assistance, feel free to get back to mail 24/7. And I'll be looking forward this weekend for your homework answers on the questions which you posed just now. So wish you all the best, love you all. And before I conclude, let me just go through your comments and also do post your scores. I would love to have a look. Hi, Hrishikesh, Smriti, Madhuri, Rohan, Shubhangi, Kishore, Nishita, Payal, Ignatius, Ritu, Melijas, Shailaja, Sidra, Ratan. Hi, a very good evening. Ratan Singh is from Haryana. So I would say it's a land of fresh paneer. That's the first time where I've experienced how soft and how tasty paneer actually can be. You're lucky, very lucky, Ratan. Tanmay, hi Tanmay, very good evening. Hi Rashmi, Payal 1, Payal 2, yeah, Monica, Sidra, awesome words. Thank you, Monica. Thank you, Sidra. Yeah. Okay, so all answers, nothing else. And yeah, Preeti says none of the above. That's wonderful to hear, Preeti. I'm happy for you. And anything did I miss? Vasundhara, hi Vasundhara. Hi Hitesh. Oh, Tanmay secured 20 upon 20. Oh, Tanmay is talking about everyone. Now, yes, sir, edit windows have been opened. Edit option is not visible. I want to confirm the edit option is visible only to those who have error in that form, or is it visible to everyone? As far as my knowledge is concerned, it has to be visible for everyone. Just try changing browser and try accessing the edit window from a laptop or desktop. And if you need any further assistance, feel free to get back through mail, proudtobedentist@gmail.com. Yeah. Sidra secured 20, Hitesh 16, Payal 16, Preeti 16. Where did you go wrong? I just made sure that you would score 20 upon 20. But 16 is definitely an amazing score as well. Harshit, most fascinating thing is that choosing BDS by chance, then loving it and working hard to be good in field. So paradoxical. Harshit, that's wonderful to hear. Please put it on paper in your own handwriting, and please do share it through mail. I would love to share it in our updates group. Yeah. Please get back through mail with the very same answer. That's amazing to hear. Harshit says the most fascinating thing is that choosing BDS by chance, then loving it, and working hard to be good in the field. So paradoxical. That's lovely to hear, Harshit. That's really lovely to hear. Rashmi, mood booster session. That's wonderful to hear, Rashmi. Really appreciate your feedback. Kishore 16, Madhuri, very good. 20, Madhuri, I really appreciate your enthusiasm. Attending these sessions in spite of your challenges, personal challenges. Well done. Ritu 20, Hitesh is from Bihar. Rashmi is also from Bihar. Rashmi secured 16. Very good. Okay, so I'm sure we have students attending from all parts of the country and also from Middle East, I reckon. We have one from Haryana, Bihar. So we'll have one particular session where we'll just post the places which we are attending this live sessions from. That would be very, very interesting. We can do it at end of one particular session, right? I think we can do it now itself. So let me just type it out. So I'll just post my name and the place which I am from. So I just posted the name of the place name of my place and the state, Vijayawada, Andhra Pradesh. That's where I was born. And those who are live can post your names of places and respective states. It would be interesting to know like which place you're connecting with us from. Hitesh and Rashmi are from Bihar. Ratan Singh is from Haryana. I'm from Andhra, Telangana. Okay, 2 states. I'll be covering 2 states. Kishore is also from Andhra Pradesh. Same pinch, Kishore. Tanmay is from Gujarat. Oh, whenever you say Gujarat, all I hear is Ran of Kutch, right? We have so many song shoots going on there. An amazing place, definitely a rich place as far as my knowledge is concerned. Kishore is from Pulivendula, and most of our heroes in movies are also from Pulivendula. Okay, Harshit. Yeah, and also Hitesh. Yeah, Hitesh is from Bihar. Navya is also from Haryana, Rohtak. Yeah, Ratan Singh, Navya are from Haryana. Rashmi, Darbhanga, Bihar. Ritu is from Kerala. Oh, Payal Paul is from Tripura. That's wonderful to hear. And I do know. Shailaja is from Dharmapuri, Tamil Nadu. Vanakkam. That's the only Tamil word which I'm very much familiar with. There is another Tamil word which I'm familiar with, but it's a bad word. So I'm not going to say that loud. It's not too bad. Vayumudu, shut your mouth, right? That's another phrase which I'm quite familiar with. In fact, many of my maternal relatives are in Tamil Nadu. They migrated to Tamil Nadu long back. Shailaja, yes, from Tamil Nadu. Shubhangi is from Himachal Pradesh, Kangra. I really envy you, Shubhangi. We love Himachal Pradesh, and we have been to several places in Himachal Pradesh last year on our long road trip from south to north, and we went through Kangra, as far as I remember, while going towards Shimla, Manali, and all. You're very, very lucky, and I really envy you. Preeti is from Chennai, Tamil Nadu. Vanakkam, Preeti. Yeah, Madhuri is Hyderabad, Telangana, and AP, both. So Madhuri and myself were representatives of 2 states, Andhra and Telangana. Harshit is born in Rajasthan, grew up in J&K, and then Delhi, currently in Madhya Pradesh, studying in Indore, originally from Bihar, Army brat. So I think you've covered almost 4 or 5 states in the process of your life cycle. That's very impressive, Harshit, and you're very lucky. Rajasthan, I've been to Jaipur, Pink City. I visited so many mahals there, including Jal Mahal. It's a very interesting place. Jammu and Kashmir, we have been to Jammu and Kashmir last year. We love Jammu and Kashmir. Madhya Pradesh, in fact, we stayed in Madhya Pradesh during our route towards north. And we have several students from Indore and Bhopal, especially peoples. And you are from Bihar? That's wonderful to hear. So south, north, east, west, so all the states have been covered in 5 minutes. Okay, guys, it was lovely interacting with you. So anyways, we'll have one exclusive session on the geography, right? We can talk about your places. I'll talk about my place, favorite food items, places famous for. A lot many interesting things we can do over one live session. You want me to say something about Bihar? Bihar, whenever I hear the term Bihar, Lalu Prasad Yadav comes into my mind. I'm sorry if he is from Bihar or not, I'm not sure. But because since we come across, go through news quite often, right? Lalu Prasad Yadav, who used to be the former railway minister during my childhood. So that's when I used to hear something about Bihar. I don't have much knowledge about Bihar. In fact, our tenants are from Bihar. They say it's an amazing place. Okay, I'm sorry, Hitesh. I would definitely love to visit Bihar and would love to learn more about that place. In fact, I personally love traveling and exploring. So, so I'm right. Lalu Prasad Yadav? Yeah, I'm right. Okay. Okay, Ritu, it's an energetic session. That's wonderful to hear. Thank you for the feedback. And okay, guys, I'll see you again. Hopefully next week, we'll get back to you with a new schedule, and we'll try continuing these case-based discussions. And since this is the last session of this week, we'll title this as final session. And hopefully we can carry on with more and more sessions in the coming days. Just make sure that whether you take it seriously or you take it in a fun way, make sure that you're giving your best, and let's hope for the best. Okay, you're welcome. Good night.